Hi, today I'm going to make a dish using plantains as the base. Plantain are a kind of a savoury banana. What I'm going to do is pair it up to get a bit of protein in the dish. I'm going to use some cannellini beans and onions. I'm going to sprinkle the whole dish with some nice toasted desiccated coconuts just to bring texture into it. And the saucing I'm going to use is, I'm going to take a kind of a cheaty approach, but it's really nice, is my Ploy. I'm going to kind of make it a little bit more nice though in a way, because I'm going to add a little bit more ginger into it, some garlic, a bit of extra, it's made of garlic anyway, and finish the dish with a nice squeeze of just fresh lime, just to freshen the whole dish up. But one of the ingredients I'm using here, the plantain, very interesting ingredient. It's a savoury banana because there's lots of different species of bananas, some small ones, red ones, some very sweet ones, and bananas are a really good ingredient bringing into an anti-inflammatory diet because, for one thing, they're quite high in potassium. Potassium is very good for heart health, and it can even contribute to help lower blood pressure, which can be an inflammatory condition and can kick off an episode for some people with arthritis. It's also a good, the carbohydrates within plantain are a slow release carbohydrate, quite low in the glycemic index. So again, you're going to get a nice even amount of energy from it. They're quite high in vitamin A and they're quite high in vitamin C. And again, they're very, very important antioxidant vitamins. So again, plantains, and again, they're a very good source of fiber as well. So bringing plantains into your diet is a great idea. As well as that, on top of everything else, they're absolutely delicious and they're very versatile. You can treat them almost like a potato. You can boil them and make kind of a plantain mash. You can cut them into kind of chips. They can be fried. They're very, very easy to use. Almost treat them like a potato. That's the countries that they are a staple in. That's pretty much how they treat them. So I'm going to get on and I'm going to cook this dish now. This dish, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simply toast my desiccated coconut in a pan. I like to make more than I need because, you know, a bit of toasted desiccated coconut will store very well in a little in a jar, and it's quite a useful little thing for just sprinkling it even over something like a granola. So just pop that into a pan and allow it toast till it goes golden. And that's a dry pan. That's my coconut, just nice and lightly toasted till golden. I'm just going to pop that in a dish and let that just put aside until I need it. To cook my plantain, I'm going to take about a tablespoon of coconut oil, pop it onto a pan and allow that to melt. And while that's melting, I've cut my plantain lengthways into kind of thin strips. Don't forget, plantain is more akin to a potato probably in texture and taste at this point than it is to a banana. So it does take a little bit of cooking to get it palatable. So just spread around my little coconut oil there, and I'm just going to take my plantains and place those all onto the oil. I'm going to put them all down nice and flat. Kind of get the oil to, if you can at this point, to coat the plantains. Coat them all individually if you like. And then I'm just going to allow those fry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to transfer them in the pan under the grill and allow them to toast under the grill. And while they're toasting, I'll make the remainder of the dish. So, spread out on the pan. Let them fry for just a few minutes, and just keeping an eye on them, and then we'll finish them without turning them under the grill. So there's my plantain, just cooking away there on one side. And just before I transfer it onto the grill, I'm just going to give them a light sprinkling of some salt, and then continue cooking. Finish my dish, or well, not finish it, but to complete the sauce part of it, about a teaspoon of coconut oil into a pan. I'm going to add my onions, my ginger, my garlic, just a little pinch of salt, and just allow those to just cook away with the lid on just for about 2 minutes. Do keep an eye on them. After around 2 minutes at a moderate heat, I'm now going to add into my onions my beans. And just allow those to heat through. At this point, I'm also going to add my chili sauce. And I'm just going to await my bananas to completely cook before I finish the bean part of this dish. But I'm just going to allow those to cook gently, keeping a stir on them until the onions become nice and tender. When your plantains are grilled and they're just a nice bit of colour on them and just very, very lightly salted, I'm just going to put those aside now. And now I'm going to just very quickly finish my red onion and my cannellini beans with my chili sauce. And to do that, at the very last minute, I'm going to add some spring onion or scallion and put the juice of a lime in there, because there's a lot of sweetness with the shop-bought chili sauces, and the lime just helps counter that and freshen up the whole dish. And then I'm just going to add a piece of just gently torn coriander. Just put it through there, just at the. I'm not even going to cut that. I'm just going to allow that to just warm through. So I have this nice, lovely citrusy, a little bit sweet, garlicky and gingery bean dish. And that's really all that needs. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that off from the heat. Take myself a nice plate. Serve this. I'm just going to take some of my beans with my onions, which are absolutely tasty. I'm just going to take a nice few slivers of my plantain. And then likewise, a couple more of the beans again. And again, back to my plantain again. And then maybe just a couple more beans, just to add a little bit of interest on the top. And the very last thing I'm going to do is take my toasted coconut. Now I don't done too much of this because it's a handy thing to have while you're toasting it. I'm just going to bring that over the top, a nice generous amount, just to bring a bit of texture and interest into the dish. And then finally, just some of the extra coriander leaves I had. I'm just going to just literally let those fall around the dish, just to give it a little bit of freshness and interest, and just to bring a little bit of fresh colour into the dish as well. And that is pretty much it. Our plantain cannellini beans with a lovely gingery garlic chili sauce, using a cheats method, I suppose, but it's still very tasty. There we go.